Sue Vanatta. Thank you for joining us on Talking with Tatum.
And thank you, Mary Tatum, for having me, I think.
Well, no, we're going to have a good time.
We are, yes. We always have a good time.
Known each other for years, but
Yes, we have.
I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk with you about your time on the county commission. But before we get into your public service, for folks who don't know Sue Vanatta, tell us a little bit about you. How, where you grew up, where you went to school, what brought you to Lebanon?
I can do that. I was born in Gainesboro, Tennessee, Jackson County, just about an hour's drive east of here. Small community. I graduated from Jackson County High School. Largest class in 1964 that they had, 100 in my class.
100?
And we just had our 55th year reunion. So that kind of gives you an idea how old I am. Start counting. I came to Lebanon in 1973, December of 73. My husband and I started a State Farm insurance agency here down on West Main Street, and came to Lebanon. I did not know anyone, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going back in the country, because we had lived in Nashville for quite a while, but I got to know people here, and it's home now. Love it. My children have all gone to school here. They've graduated high school, college, so
it's home.
It's home. It is definitely home. I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and it's home.
Well, a lot of people may hear the name Sue Vanatta and they think Chamber of Commerce. When did that career start?
That started in November of 91. It started out when we first moved to Lebanon, and I was with the insurance business. We became chamber members, and I got involved with the chamber, and then I was asked to serve on the membership committee. And I did that for several years, and then I was asked to be on the board. And in fact, I was on the board when Miss Laura Bentley had left, and they had an interim come in, and then they hired someone that was there about a year and a half. And then that person left, and I was called by Mr. David Fouch, and I was on the board, and he said, you need to come to my office and talk to me. And I thought, oh, what's the chamber going to do now? So I got there, and he told me, he said, we're looking for someone to fill this position, and we've thought about you. And I was shocked. I thought, okay. And he said, would you be interested in it? And I said, well, let me talk to my family. So I went home that night and talked to my family, and they were all very encouraging and said, go for it, and I did. And I started in November of 91, and I left December of 2014. 23 years.
I was about to ask, 23 years.
23 wonderful years.
Of the Chamber of Commerce. And it grew a lot during that period of time.
Had about 200 members when I started. A lot of young companies coming in, and so my first goal was to increase membership. And I learned a long time ago, you cannot be any good unless you surround yourself by good people. And that's what I started doing. And I had an advantage because being in business, I knew the other business people. So I started going out, calling on the businesses, and got people involved, and we grew it in about 2 years to 500, kind of stagnant for 500 for a few years, and then we had a big membership drive and got it up to over 850. And then a few years later, another big membership drive and got it to 1,000, and I left it over 1,000 members. So very proud of that.
That's a phenomenal growth period.
Couldn't have done it without you and all the other people that were on my board.
Well, you've had a lot of good folks. When you started in November of 92, what was the size of the staff at that time?
Me and one other person. There was two of us.
So
it was, my first event that I did, I started in November, and I was told I had to put on the Christmas parade. Well, I'd been to all the Christmas parades. My children were involved in the Christmas parade, but I had never put on a Christmas parade. So I started calling board members and started calling people that had been involved in the Christmas parade. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to put on a parade. I don't think about putting on a parade. But it worked out.
But the horses at the back.
The horses at the back. That I learned quickly. From Nelson Steed. He'd always told me, make sure the horses are at the back. But it was really strange, Barry. I was taught by my parents, always say thank you. Right. So after I did that, and I had so many people involved helping me, I wrote thank yous, and I had a board member call me and say, this is the first time anybody's ever sent me a thank you. And I thought, it was just instilled in me, and that's what you do. And I think that's our generation. And I try to instill it in my children and grandchildren.
Well, even if they don't expect it, people appreciate it.
Exactly.
When they've given something of their time or whatever, or just a note.
Just a note. Well, I often told my staff and the girls at the chamber that were gracious to work with me and help me so much. I always told them, if you ask them, you feed them, and thank them, people will show up to help you.
That's right. And surrounding yourself with good people.
Surrounding myself with great people.
With a good team.
Exactly, sure did. They were wonderful.
And
they're still there.
Friends with them.
Oh yes, yeah. Andrea and Tanya. My gosh, we went through so much together and tell so many stories. And now they're there with Melanie, and they're all doing a wonderful job.
And Linda Spencer worked down there.
Linda Spencer worked with me. Jeanette Haston worked with me. Several people. You know, I won't begin to name all of them.
Well, we don't have that much time.
No, and I can't remember all of it either.
Because when you retired, you didn't really retire. You looked for another turn the page, so to speak, to find another chapter.
I did. Probably about June of 2014, I had some people come to me and ask me if I would be interested in running for county commissioner. Well,
what did you think when you heard that?
I thought, I don't want to get in politics. I'm already in politics through the chamber. But the more I thought about it and the more people came to me and encouraged me, I thought, well, you know, I attend all the county commission meetings anyway because of my position with the chamber. I was going to all the meetings. So I kind of had a knowledge and a background of how the county, I thought, worked. So after some encouragement from friends and family, I thought, well, you know, I'm going to run for it. And I was very fortunate. I was elected. And I thank the people in the 23rd District for electing me to that position. It's been good. I didn't know as much as I thought I did. I can tell you that. I've learned a lot.
Well, when you were with the chamber, did you go to the committee meetings?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I didn't go to all of them, but I went to some of the committee meetings, and I made almost all the county commission meetings.
But, and you represent the 23rd District.
23rd District.
For folks who are watching, give us an idea of geographically, where is the 23rd?
Okay, that is starting at about, I'm trying to, Gears Place, going down Highway 70. I go all the way to 109 on the left-hand side.
On the south side.
So the south side. I go down Hickory Ridge Road, Leeville Pike, some of Quarry Road down 109. It's I have the second largest district in the county.
So it actually goes on the other side of 109, on the west side
yes,
of 109.
Yes, it's a short, not a lot, but a little bit on the other side of 109.
And as we see growth occurring in the county, that's potentially a huge growth area.
Yes, it is.
Still a lot of acreage for development and good access to the interstate.
I think right now there is 6 or 7 subdivisions that are developing right now just in my district.
Really?
The growth is just absolutely amazing. The traffic on Leeville Pike and Hickory Ridge Road, with all the construction now going on I-40, they're all getting off and coming up those 2 highways. And Chris Crowell with the city council, that's his area as city council person. So we talk quite a bit. He and I meet and talk about some issues. And he and I were talking just recently that with all the construction and everything on I-40, people are getting off, and it's just really creating a lot of traffic on those 2 roads. So the red light at Crowell Lane is going to happen. It's been approved, and Chris told me be looking for it to be turned on. I'm ready for it.
Crowell Lane
and Leeville Pike, yes, sir.
Needed one there for a long time.
Long time.
But when you said people approached you about the idea about running for elected office, county commission, you talked to your family. What were your ideas about, well, what would you like to see happen county-wide, but specifically in your district?
In my district, I wanted to get to know the people. I wanted to know their concerns. I knew there was concerns on taxes, there was concerns on schools, there was concerns on the judicial system, and I wanted to hear what they were interested in and what they wanted me to really work toward. So that was those were one of the big things. Another thing, as you know, through the chamber, we had worked for years trying to get an expo center here.
Right.
And I told myself then that I'm going to work toward helping get this expo center done, because it's desperately needed. And as you know, it stays busy all the time now. And I'm very proud of that. And all the commissioners, they all work so hard to get that done.
And it is really a fabulous showpiece for the county.
It really is.
It's something that you can look at tangibly as a taxpayer, as a resident, and say, that's something that's you can take pride in.
Oh, because the taxpayers built it, and I think that's a lot of times that's what people forget. That building is owned by the taxpayers of Wilson County, and I cannot stress that enough. And I tell everybody, it's your building. Go out there and see it. Go out there and use it.
And it's worth a look.
It is worth a look. If you've never been in it, I would encourage everybody to go out there because it is beautiful. The staff do a great job out there. The Ag Center is such a pride and joy for this county. Mr. Quentin Smith is doing a wonderful job, and it's something that we all can be proud of.
Well, as you are into your second term now, and you've got some time under your wheels, seeing how county works and learning more about how county government works, where do you see county headed in 5 years? What are going to be some of our concerns, or what would you like to see happen either for your district or for the county as a whole?
Some of our concerns is, of course, still growth. And I guess making sure that we have the proper infrastructure for that growth, that we are proactive on the growth, and I think we're doing a good job with that. As you know, we're going to have to get a new jail. It's kind of sad to think about that, but that's just the way life is. Making sure that our staff, our employees with the county, I really don't think people in the county realize how important the staff is for all of Wilson County.
Surrounding yourself with good people like
That's exactly right, and they do, and we want to take care of them. They work hard, and they were so helpful. I mean, I can pick up the phone and call one of them, and they're, Miss Sue, what can I do to help you? And they'll do that for everybody, not just me. They will do that for everyone. And the future, of course, we're going to have to build some more schools. That's just life, the way it is. Making sure we get the word out of the things to see and do in Wilson County. Our new tourism director, Amy Nichols, is doing a fantastic job with that. And making sure the local folks know what is really in their county area. I think that's a big thing that we need to focus on. We have a lot to offer in this county. And when people come in from other counties and other states and see that, they're just amazed what all is going on in Wilson County.
There's something going on all the time. I know
All
that from
the
the chamber,
time.
but you know it more than anybody
All
else.
the time.
And,
Yes.
And all kinds of opportunities to volunteer and get involved in your community.
We have some of the best nonprofit agencies here that help so many people. This county and this community, and I've lived in several different counties and communities, is such a giving community and such a volunteer community. They care about each other. You know, I'm like everybody else, I'm on Facebook some, and I see people just saying, you know, let's get together and pray for this person, and that means so much. If if somebody's going through something, a difficult time, that means so much to people, and I see that all over Wilson County.
Well, there's a few minutes we've got left. I know families are very important to
Yes,
you.
it
We
is.
haven't touched on them very much, or anything else as we have a wrap up our segment here. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Well, of course, I'm going to brag on my family. I have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. My grandson graduates tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock from the University of Tennessee
Awesome.
in communications, and he has now has a job with Disney in Orlando.
Wow.
So I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of all of them. I have one granddaughter that's a teacher. I have a granddaughter that works with a staffing company in Nashville. I have another granddaughter that works with a real estate company in Nashville. They're just all doing really well. I'm just proud of all of them. And in fact, my son said to me recently, he said, "Mom, I know you're really proud. So far, every grandchild's graduated from college." I said, "I'm so proud of that."
Well, you've led a blessed life, but
I have
but
been
it's
very
certainly
blessed.
well deserved.
Well,
in
thank
my
you.
opinion.
I've had a very blessed life, and I'm thank God every day for it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on our show.
Thank you, Barry.
We've got this
Got the
cup
butt.
here
All right.
for our guests who show up. So maybe
I
if
love
you'll
it.
use that,
I would use this.
we
I
can get
promise
some
you.
of your other county commissioners to come talk with us about
I will
their-
encourage. I
their
will put this
concerns.
on my desk at the county commission room. How about that?
That'll
They can see it.
That'll
Okay.
work.
Thank you,
for
Barry.
joining us, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.